I greet you in Jesus' precious name. Today I want to speak to you about faith. Now the Bible says without faith you cannot please God. And he who believes must believe that he is and that he is the rewarder of those who diligently seek him. You'll find that in Hebrews chapter 11 and verse 6. Verse 1 says, explaining what faith is, verse 1 says, faith is the substance of things hoped for. It is the evidence of things not yet seen. Now, St. Augustine said, faith is to believe what you cannot see. But the reward of that faith is to see what you believed. Isn't that awesome? And I want to speak to you about faith. Now, faith is something that you cannot really explain. There's no explanation for faith, okay? There's no rational explanation for faith. When Jesus took 2 little sardines and 5 barley loaves, prayed over them, this is at Tabgha on the shores of Lake Galilee, I've been there, and broke them and fed 5,000 men, not including women and children. That was faith, because he called on his Father. And they collected 12 basketfuls of leftovers afterwards. Everybody ate. I want to tell you a story that happened on this farm. A replica of the story I've just told you. In 2007, we were expecting 5,000 men to come to this farm for a Mighty Men conference. 7,500 turned up on this farm. Now, I want to talk to the ladies for a minute. Madam, how would you like it if your husband came home and said, darling, I've got 2,500 men coming for supper tonight? I think you'd be in a bit of a tailspin. Well, that's exactly what happened on this farm. We were expecting 5,000 men. The cooks had prepared the food. By the way, we fed everybody, no charge. We did it right up until 2008 when we got the 60,000 men in the big tent. And then after that, of course, it just went berserk. We couldn't do it. So the first evening, all the boys were in the small tent. It was a 5,000-seater tent. 7,500 men squashed in there. And just before the meeting started, the cooks came through and said, please, 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 Angus, tell them to go easy with the food. We've only catered for 5,000 men, and there are 7,500 here, or 400. I said, boys, there's a message from the kitchen. Eat as much as you can. Now that's faith, okay? That's faith. That's calling those things that aren't as if they were. We fed them Friday night. We fed them Saturday lunchtime and Saturday night. They had to get their own breakfast, and then they left after the Sunday morning service. I was sitting praying in my prayer room on the Sunday morning. In walked Peter Hull. He had a yellow bib on him. He had been doing the traffic. He was crying. The tears were running down his face. I thought somebody had been run over. He was in charge of the transport. He said, Angus, I've just come back from the kitchen. They have counted the baskets of leftovers, 36 baskets of leftovers divided by 3 meals is how many? 12 baskets a meal. How many baskets were collected together at Tabgha after Jesus fed the 5,000? 12 baskets. Folks, let's walk in faith and let's trust Jesus. God bless you and goodbye.